Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. I know I've not been doing videos for a while now, but I got extremely ill about a month ago, and it's taken me a long time to recover. I'm not quite 100% yet. I wanted to make videos again once I'm 100%, but you know what? With all the stuff that's happening around the world, I can't really wait. I need to start making videos and start talking again because what's happening around the world is absolutely crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. So as you know, Maduro has been kidnapped by Trump, by the US government. And this is not the first time Trump has done this, by the way. I mean, when I started making videos, maybe 5, 6 years ago, this was in Trump's first term. And I started making videos after Trump started this major war against China, against Huawei. You know, he was blaming China for COVID. He put sanctions on Huawei. He banned Huawei. He kidnapped Meng Wanzhou's daughter, the Huawei CEO's daughter. He literally kidnapped her, and the Canadians basically held her hostage in Canada for years. It wasn't until Biden came on and he released her. But Trump did that. Trump ordered the kidnap of Meng Wanzhou's daughter. So he's done it again. Trump has done it again. He's ordered the kidnap of Maduro. And why is he doing that? You know, a lot of people will say he's doing it because he's under the control of the Zionists. And Maduro has been very vocal against Israel. You know, he's not been happy about the genocide that's been happening. He's been making it very clear. He's also refused to do any business with Israel, refused to he's banned all Israeli businesses, contacts. So he has been doing his bit to basically the genocide. And the Zionists didn't like it, and obviously Trump is Zionist controlled. Whatever Trump does, he's basically does it because his Zionist friends want him to do it, and this is what he's done. And it's an absolute shame, guys. Absolute shame. I mean, international law goes out the window. UN is not doing anything. No other country can do anything, and Americans are pretty much doing what they want, and it's just a sad, sad day. Um, they've already got a replacement. This lady who's won the Nobel Peace Prize, she's been advocating for war with Venezuela. I mean, is this how a peace prize person reacts? You know, they're basically asking for war, asking for regime change. Is that what peace prize people do? Anyway, she's been very happy and vocal. Trump has been saying he wants the oil, he wants the Venezuelan oil, he's going to run the country. He's going to basically, he basically has a say what he wants to do in the country. So obviously it's all for the oil, but it's not just the oil, it's also for the minerals as well. Venezuela sits on tons and tons of silver. It sits on other mineral resources, lots of gold as well. He has some of the biggest gold reserves in the world. It's got obviously the biggest oil reserve in the world. So there's a lot of treasures in Venezuela. But what I don't understand, if you have this much amount of treasures, guys, why why do you allow the US military to come into your country and steal your leader with not a fire? I do not see any anti-aircraft fire. I do not see anybody fighting from the Venezuelan military. What's going on, guys? I mean, not even a single bullet was fired to stop the Americans to taking their leader. What the hell is going on? It just doesn't make any sense, guys. So, I mean, what probably has happened is the Americans obviously have been parked next to Venezuela with their massive ships and aircraft carriers for the last few months. And I think what they've been doing, they've been secretly negotiating with the army generals and they've been giving them probably money to stand down. Um, they've been promising them kind of probably promising them lots of power and money if they can get rid of Maduro. They'll probably said to them, "All right, we're going to have a new regime in Venezuela. You guys can run it." And also, they probably promised them a lot of stuff. And this is why the American military was probably allowed into Venezuela. And obviously, Maduro he was backstabbed, guys. I mean, Americans knew exactly where Maduro was, so they basically went in there with helicopters, by the way. Helicopters are the easiest thing to shoot down with anti-aircraft guns. With if you have helicopters, and they are so easy to shoot down because they're slow. Um, you know, they're just so easy, guys. And so they came in with helicopters and they kidnapped Maduro. So, everyone on social media is blaming China, is blaming Russia. I'll show you basically. There's a lot of netizens saying China needs to do more, Russia needs to do more because they are allies and stuff. But I got my own view, guys. I mean, the only two or three countries China is truly allied with is North Korea is one of them, Pakistan is another one, and probably Russia. And I believe they have some sort of alliance or military alliance that nobody really knows about. And I think those are the only three countries China is truly allied with. Every other country, you're basically, your friends, trading partners. You have the team in BRICS, which are mainly it's an economical brick at the it's an economical group. It's not a military group. So so a lot of people are blaming China. China needs to do more. Why didn't they protect Venezuela more? So number one, even if China provided them lots of weapons, has Venezuela fired any weapons at the Americans? No, nothing. They can give weapons to, China can give weapons to Venezuela, but if your army is not firing at American troops, if your army is not using them, then what's the point? China cannot fight for the Venezuelans. Venezuelans need to fight for themselves first. If China gives them weapons, use those weapons. I know for a fact China has given Venezuela lots of weapons. And I know for a fact Russia has given Venezuela for a lot of weapons, a lot of anti-aircraft missiles, shoulder-mounted missiles, radars, uh, planes even. There's a lot of Chinese and Russian military that went into Venezuela, but not a single shot was fired, not a single one. Secondly, China is not the military police of the world. They cannot police the whole world, especially from the West. China is not that powerful. It doesn't have 800 military bases around the world where they can project power and protect other countries. There's no military bases near Venezuela for China. So there's not really much they can do. If America wanted to invade Venezuela, there's not much China can do or not much Russia can do because Venezuela is so close to America. Same way, the island of Taiwan is close to China. There's not much America or the West can do if China wanted to reunify with Taiwan. So there's a lot of netizens online saying China needs to take Taiwan now. They need to. Nobody will complain. They need to do it now. First of all, China's not going to listen to all these netizens saying take Taiwan now, take Taiwan now. Secondly, China wants to do it peacefully. If they wanted to take Taiwan, take back, reunify with the island, could have done it years ago, guys. And there's nothing America or the West can do about it. But China doesn't want to do that. They want to do it peacefully, so they're waiting. And and I think the current government of of the island of Taiwan. I think they don't have long to go. I think they're going to be ousted very soon. And the opposition, the KMT opposition, they um, they actually want to reunify with China. So I think China can do it peacefully. They just have to wait. They just have to be patient. And no timetable is going to be advanced, depending on whatever the world is doing. So there's others that say that China needs the oil from Venezuela. Yes, they buy a lot of oil, and I think it's about 700,000 barrels per day that they sell to China, which is a lot, and they are discounted as well. And I think Maduro and Venezuela have taken some loans from China as well. I don't exactly know how much, but I think at least 50 to 100 billion or something like that. They've taken loans from China, and they are basically paying back to China with oil. And that's the agreement that they've had for a number of years. So I don't know what's going to happen to this agreement. You know, if America takes over Venezuela, they have a new government, you know, it could be that they basically ask, they basically don't pay back China anything, and they stop the oil from going into China. They renegotiate terms and stuff. It could, you know, that could happen. But if that happens, then I think China will retaliate with sanctions, not only to Venezuela but to also to America as well. Um, and Russia, I mean, you cannot rely on Russia to protect you guys. I mean, Russia is fighting its own war in Ukraine. All their resources are focused on Ukraine. So it's very unfair for anyone to rely on Russia to protect them, especially now. You know, they are focused on Ukraine. So what's the world to do, guys? I mean, what do we do? I mean, the UN is pretty much useless. They can't do anything when America starts taking all these small countries, taking their resources, oil, you know. And I think the world just needs to stand together and just sanction America, guys. I think they just need to just sell all the treasuries in America. Stop trading with America. Drop all the dollars. Just send it back to United States. Stop investing in United States and start investing with your neighbors. Start investing in Asia with China. And this is what's been happening. And if you look at the trade figures, you know, China's trade figures, they are making more than 1 trillion per year on trade, you know, as profit. This is because less countries are now trading with the United States and more countries are trading with China because they know America is pretty much, you know, unreliable, the dollar's too expensive, the whole country is about to collapse. And what they're doing is the last stages of empire. You know, every time an empire is about to collapse, they panic and they start having wars all over the place. You know, this is what empires do in the last days. It's happened in Rome. It's happened in the past with other empires. It's happened with Britain as well. I mean, that's what they do. They start wars because they cannot, you know, compete economically anymore. So what they do, they use their might, military might, to basically gain power again. And this is what they're doing. And this is just gonna end up hurting America in the long run because the whole world can see what America is doing. You know, they are not invading Venezuela because Maduro is bad or anything. They're not invading Venezuela because of drugs, because there's hardly any drugs coming from Venezuela to United States. You know, it's mainly coming from Mexico, uh, you know, Canada and other countries, but you know, only a small minority probably comes from Venezuela, but it's not enough to go invade a country. It's definitely for the oil, definitely for the silver. As you can see, silver prices are going up very fast. It's also for the gold. They have a lot of gold reserves. And this is what the empires do in their final days. They start acting irrational. They start invading other countries. They start having wars, and you can see what's happening around the world at the moment. So what's next? I think America will probably take Greenland next, and also Iran. I think one of the reasons they have taken Venezuela is because they are preparing for a war with Iran. And if Iran basically blocks the Hormuz Strait, oil prices are going to go through the roof. But if America controls Venezuela's oil, they can probably keep the oil prices under some sort of control. I think that's their plan. I think they are basically going to try and take Venezuela's oil, and then they're going to attack Iran. They can take Greenland anytime. I mean, look, guys, Denmark is not going to put up a fight. EU is not going to put up a fight. There's hardly any military in Denmark. I mean, in Greenland. There is some, but it's hardly anything that the US can't handle. So they can take Greenland anytime, and I think Trump will probably try and take Greenland over the next few years. But I think their main priority first is Iran. And as you know, Iran has slapped Israel a few times in their 12-day war, and I think they want to go again. And the reason they want to go again is they want to obviously control Iran's resources, and also they're doing it for the Zionist project, Greater Israel project. They're doing it for Israel, and this is why Netanyahu visited. This is why Netanyahu visited Trump a few days ago, and I think they discussed all of this before. They said, "All right, we have to attack Iran again." And they said, what if Iran blocks the Hormuz Strait? And Trump's advisors probably said, look, if we take Venezuela and we take their oil, even if Iran blocks the Hormuz Strait, we still got enough oil in Venezuela to basically stabilize the oil market. And I think that was the plan. So Iran, if I was Iran, I would go for a nuclear weapon as soon as possible, guys, because the only thing that will protect you in this world and from America and from Zionists is a nuclear weapon. Same thing, with North Korea. That's the only thing that will protect you. And I think if I was Iran, I would get a nuclear weapon as soon as possible, because as soon as the second Israeli-Iranian war happens, and I think it will happen this year, 2026, I think if Israel gets its ass kicked again by Iran with of missiles, and Israel is completely being destroyed by missiles, I think Israel could use nuclear weapons against Iran. I believe they will. I think they will be the first country, apart from the United States, to use a nuclear weapon in war. And if Israel starts using nuclear weapons in Iran, and Iran has got no nukes to fire back to Israel, I mean, it really is no contest, guys. It really is no contest. And you have to have nuclear weapons to protect yourself. You have to have it. This is why China got nuclear weapons, after the United States used it in Japan. They threatened to use it in China as well in the Korean War. And even the Russians threatened to use it against China because they had a short war over some island, basically in outer Manchuria. So China was forced to build a nuclear weapons because they know building a nuclear weapon is the ultimate protection from the West. And North Korea has done the same, and other countries need to do the same if they want to protect themselves from America and Israel. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think. It's a crazy world out there. Don't forget to like and share, and I'll see you soon. Take care for now.